All right, next topic I want to hit here is some kitchen layout. We're going to start with dropping in some base cabinets here. So if you have an idea of kind of where you're going to put things in your kitchen, you can bring in like the refrigerators and all that kind of stuff as well. I'm just going to go over real quick a couple things here. So if I go to component and I go to edit type here, I can load some different types here. So if I go up to my main list here, let's see here. We want to look at casework. So if I go into casework, there's base cabinets. So for your kitchen, you're going to need base cabinets. That's what goes underneath the countertop. There are countertops. I'm going to show you a couple ways around there. You might have wall cabinets. Those are the ones up above that go up to the ceiling. And then tall cabinets would be like a pantry, floor to ceiling type cabinet. So you decide, how much you want to bring in here. I'm just going to bring in some base cabinets here. So we can kind of click it and see what those kind of look like. I'm going to hopefully grab like a few of these. All right, we'll start with this one here and hit OK on that. Now, when I bring this in, when I look for this base cabinet here in my list, where is that showing up? Base cabinet 2 bin, that's a 15-inch. Some of these will come in with additional ones, so let's load a couple more components in here. Alright, so let's try this 4-drawer unit. And this says that this has a width of 1 feet. That's pretty strange. Let's see if there's some other ones that show up with that. Alright, so this base cabinet with the 4 drawers comes in at 12, 15, 18, 21, and 24. So let's say I want 24. I can pop that thing in. You can put a couple of them in if you want. And then you really want to see what that looks like. You might hide some stuff. This is where I go to camera view sometimes. So I'll go to a 3D view and select the camera, and I'll place that camera view in there. And this kind of shows me what's going on. Now, over in my 3D views here, right now I'm in 3D view 2. If you want to like rename that and say that this is kitchen, that's an easy way to get back there. So like this is your default 3D. This one will take you back into your kitchen, and you can still use your view cube or your navigation window, your navigation wheel. I'm gonna pull that up over there, and you can orbit around in there and take a look at what's going on. So you want to place some appliances, place some cabinetry in there. I'm gonna get a couple cabinets in here, and I'm gonna trim that part of the video out, and then I'll show you placing in some countertops. One note, if I go to my floor plan here, so if I go to level 1, you can flip these things. So you can flip like, and that would have popped it so that it's on the other side of the wall, but you can flip like the direction of them, and that's going to matter when there's doors and stuff in there. And then always going back to that kitchen view, take a look at what you got, make sure the cabinets are facing the right way. So again, I'm going to go through and I'm going to add a couple things, and then we'll pick the video back up with adding some countertops in. Alright, so picking up where we left off, I just spent some time putting some cabinets in and a couple appliances. Just to show you where to find some of this stuff, if you go to component, you can either go to edit type or load family up here. If you go into specialty equipment, domestic, you'll see high-end and mid-range. This is where you're going to find your appliances and hoods and all that kind of stuff that you can bring in varying widths. So just make sure pick some things from there. I only found the dishwasher in mid-range. There's some other stuff in there. Yeah, there's these kitchenette things that all come in together, but they're pretty ugly. You don't want that. So you bring in your cabinetry. Again, you can modify some things. I changed this one to be a 36-inch unit, so I duplicated this one here. So I went into edit type and duplicated, named it 36, and then updated the width on that one cabinet to 36. Also had to do that for the top cabinet up here. So this one here, I made 36 to match the base cabinet. I use the align tool on a lot of this. So in level 1, as I brought things in, I would go to modify and align, and then you can grab like the edge of the wall and the edge of the back of the cabinet and kind of pop those things together. That's a pretty clean way. Now, your next step is to bring in a countertop. There are some pre-made countertops that sometimes will work for your situation. So if you go back to your components and you go to load family there, you'll have to go back up to your casework. So again, you had I brought in those wall cabinets from here, so there's some different styles that are in there. And then you also have your tall cabinets if you want to do like a pantry type, or this one's like built in for an oven to drop in there if you want to do a wall oven. All right, so inside countertops, you'll see there's ones with sinks, there's ones just with an opening, there's plain ones. This would probably work for me if I bring this one in. I can probably tweak this one to fit, so I'd have to first rotate it. So I'll rotate by 90, and then I can use maybe the align tool to line it up with the wall here. So you want to touch the object that stays first. And then there's a bunch of things that are going to have to get tweaked here. So you get these little arrows, you can kind of like change where the end of the countertop is. I would have to change where my sink location is. So my sink base is right under the window there. Did not like that. So let's undo there and see if we can bring that back. So can we move the actual sink? Okay, that looks pretty good. Now that sink's bigger than what I need, so I'd have to replace that anyway. So I'm going to show you a different way to do this. I'm going to delete this one here. Anytime you're doing anything that's odd shaped, or if you're doing islands, I typically just use a floor. So I'll go to floor, and I'll go to the generic 12-inch edit type, and then I will duplicate this and just say countertop. Hit OK on it, and your countertops are typically 1.5 inches thick, so 1.5 inches. And then at this, like, I'm going to leave this as default, but this is where you can go in and pick up, like say I want a copper countertop. I can do that, or some other kind of granite or stone that you find in there. So it's 1.5 inches thick. We hit OK. Now, if I draw this on level 1, it's going to be down on the floor. Your cabinetry is 34.5 inches tall. That's standard. So at this point, you could go in and draw in the shape that you want. So typically there's a 1-inch overhang on this. I'm just going to approximate that for right now. So we'll drop that in, keeping that 1-inch overhang everywhere. Go back with the trim tool, clean this up so you have a nice clean profile around here. And you might need to add a couple dimensions, that kind of stuff. Now, before I do this, the height offset I'm going to put in as 34.5 inches and hit apply on that, and let's hope everything works here. So then we'll look at our kitchen 3D, and now I have that. It looks like I got to bring that up because it's to the top of that, so I'm going to change that actually to a height offset of 3 feet. So even simpler. So there's that, and then if you wanted to cut a hole, you can just drop a sink in there, but you can always do like a vertical opening in there, and then you can, cut in the sink opening for yourself. Delete opening, nothing to cut away. Okay, let's try that again. So we're going to try that vertical opening in this. And maybe I need it to be in the level 1 plan because maybe I did not draw that in the right location. So let's see if it likes it now. Still doesn't like it. Alright, well, we'll have to try that a different way. Maybe just editing the actual sketch on the floor plan, making it 2 U-shaped pieces if that doesn't work. But I would, if you can just get your sketch or your floor plan to look pretty decent, have your appliances in there. And I got to add this little piece on here. We're not getting crazy. You may not even do 3D views. So if you just want to put like a countertop in and some appliances, something that would look nice. For example, if I'm in a floor plan, if we're in hidden line floor plan, and we're going to hide this pattern on the floor anyway. If we can see the overall layout of your kitchen, that's really all we need. If you want to get into this and you want to throw some 3D views and start to render things, you want to put the cabinets in, you want to make it look cool. And again, that camera view is just in view, 3D view, camera, and then you can drop that in and take a look at those from different locations. So that's just a little bit about kitchens. You want to put an island in, use some cabinetry, put another countertop on top of there. Just do your best to get something in there that looks like a kitchen, really just for your floor plans. I'm not sure how far we'll get with the render.